The moon hung low in the night sky, casting an ethereal glow over the landscape. Emily, a young woman with an insatiable curiosity for the supernatural, stood before the looming silhouette of the abandoned church. Its dilapidated facade whispered tales of a dark history, a place where the living dared not tread. Undeterred by the warnings that echoed through the town, Emily tightened her grip on the flashlight and pushed open the creaking door. As she stepped inside, the air thickened with an unsettling stillness. Dust motes danced in the beam of her flashlight, revealing the forgotten grandeur of the church's interior. The pews, draped in decaying fabric, lined the nave like ghost cobwebs clung to the corners, weaving a tapestry of neglect. Emily felt a chill crawling up her spine, but the thrill of the unknown propelled her forward. The whispers began as a soft murmur, barely audible above the hallowed silence. Emily strained to decipher the indistinct words, her senses heightened by a mixture of fear and excitement. The temperature dropped, and the air grew heavy with the weight of unseen. The church seemed to exhale a spectral breath, and Emily's every step echoed through the hallowed hall. The whispers intensified, no longer a mere murmur, but a chorus of disembodied voices. They spoke of sorrow and betrayal, their words weaving a haunting narrative that echoed through the cavernous space. Emily's breath quickened as she navigated the spectral symphony, each step punctuated by the echoes of the past. Suddenly, the air crackled with energy, and shadows danced along the walls. The temperature plummeted, and Emily found herself enveloped in an otherworldly cold. A presence materialized before her, a figure bathed in the sickly glow of the moonlight filtering through broken windows. Its eyes, hollow and accusing, bore into her very soul. "Leave this place," it hissed, its voice a melange of tortured souls. But Emily, driven by an unrelenting curiosity, stood her ground. The figure recoiled, its form flickering like a dying flame. Yet the whispers persisted, now a cacophony of anguish that reverberated through the church. The whispers transformed into desperate pleas, a chorus of fandoms yearning for release. Emily, a mere mortal caught in the crossfire of the supernatural, felt the weight of their anguish bearing down on her. The walls closed in, and the air vibrated with an impending crescendo of spectral energy. In the abyss of darkness, Emily glimpsed fleeting apparitions, shadowy figures with eyes that mirrored the pain of forgotten souls. The air pulsed with their collective heartbeat, a rhythm that transcended time itself. As the darkness clung to her like a suffocating shroud, Emily felt a profound connection to the spectral entities that surrounded her. The whispers coalesced into a coherent narrative, a tapestry of lives entwined by fate. Emily witnessed moments of joy and sorrow, love and betrayal, all etched into the fabric of a haunted church. Faces materialized before her, their eyes pleading for redemption. She felt their pain as if it were her own, a conduit for the catharsis of lingering spirits. As the spectral revelations unfolded, Emily became acutely aware of the responsibility bestowed upon her. The church, once a dormant mausoleum of forgotten memories, now pulsed with a newfound vitality. The whispers, no longer laden with despair, echoed gratitude and relief. With a final reverberating chord, the apparitions faded into the aether. The light that had bathed the church extinguished, leaving Emily standing in the quiet aftermath. The air, once thick with spectral energy, now felt pure and revitalized. In the secluded town of Ravenswood, nestled amidst the dense fog and whispered secrets, St. Agnes Church stood as a silent sentinel of the past. Its towering spires pierced the sky like skeletal fingers reaching out for an elusive salvation that had long abandoned its forsaken halls. Centuries of history were etched into its crumbling walls, each brick bearing witness to the dark and enigmatic tales that lingered within. Sarah, a restless wanderer with an insatiable thirst for adventure, felt drawn to the haunting allure of St. Agnes Church. Despite the ominous warnings of the townsfolk, tales of the church's murky past ignited a fierce curiosity within her soul. Ignoring the apprehension that gnawed at her senses, Sarah embarked on a journey into the heart of darkness, determined to uncover the secrets veiled within the ancient walls of St. Agnes. As Sarah crossed the threshold of the church, a chill crept into her bones, and a palpable sense of unease settled over her like a heavy shroud. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and the faint echoes of her footsteps reverberated off the cold stone floor, mingling with the ominous whispers that seemed to emanate from the very depths of the church's soul. Deterred by the oppressive atmosphere, Sarah pressed forward, her heart pounding with a mixture of trepidation and excitement. Shadows danced in the dim light, casting eerie silhouettes that seemed to twist and contort with each flicker of her lantern. The walls of the ancient nave loomed ominously overhead, their faded frescoes hinting at tales long. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream shattered the silence, jolting Sarah from her reverie and sending a surge of adrenaline coursing through her veins. Panic gripped her as she raced toward the source of the sound, her senses on high alert as she navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the church. In the dim glow of her lantern, Sarah caught sight of a shadowy figure lurking in the darkness. A specter clad in tattered robes, its eyes blazing with an otherworldly intensity. Paralyzed with fear, she watched in horror as the ghostly apparition drew closer, its ethereal form undulating like smoke in the night. Desperate to escape the clutches of the malevolent entity, Sarah turned to flee, but to her horror, the heavy doors of St. Agnes slammed shut with a deafening reverberation, sealing her fate within the confines of the church's cursed embrace. With her heart pounding in her chest and her breath coming in ragged gasps, she found herself ensnared in a nightmare from which there seemed to be no escape. As the ghostly specter closed in on her with sinister intent, Sarah's screams reverberated through the empty halls, mingling with the anguished cries of the damned that seemed to echo from the very depths of the church's soul. The air grew thick with a suffocating darkness, and the oppressive weight of despair bore down on her like an invisible force, threatening to crush her spirit beneath its relentless grip. Summoning every ounce of courage she possessed, Sarah confronted the malevolent entity, her voice trembling with fear as she demanded to know the truth behind its vengeful wrath. But the ghostly apparition remained silent, its gaze burning with an insatiable hunger for her soul, as if daring her to defy its will. With a deafening roar, the ancient stones of St. Agnes Church began to tremble, and the very foundations of the building shook with an unearthly fury that seemed to reverberate through the very fabric of reality itself. As the echoes of Sarah's screams faded into the darkness, the mournful tolling of the church bells pierced the night air, their haunting peals serving as a chilling reminder of the horrors that lurked within its forsaken halls. And so, the legend of St. Agnes Church endured, a testament to the darkness that dwells within the hearts of men and the terrifying power of the supernatural forces that lie beyond the realm of mortal understanding. For those who dare to tread within its cursed confines, beware the echoes of the forsaken, for they whisper of doom and despair to all who dare to listen. In the heart of a small town, nestled among the whispering trees and winding streets, stood a church with a sinister reputation. Its ancient walls held a malevolent secret, a dark force that stirred within its depths, waiting for an unsuspecting soul to stumble upon its hidden horrors. For generations, locals had whispered tales of the ghost that haunted the church, a vengeful spirit with a thirst for blood. Most residents knew better than to tempt fate, but there was always one, drawn to the macabre and the supernatural like a moth. In this case, that adventurous soul was Tom. Tom was unlike the others in the town. While they shied away from the church, he was drawn to it, captivated by the eerie stories that surrounded it. His curiosity burned bright, a flame that could not be extinguished by caution or fear. And so, one moonless night, Tom made the fateful decision to confront the ominous reputation of the church. The air hung heavy with an oppressive stillness as Tom approached the ancient building. Each step seemed to echo through the silent streets, a reminder of the solitude that surrounded him. He pushed open the groaning door, revealing an impenetrable darkness that seemed to swallow his feeble flashlight's beam whole. Whispers began to slither through the air almost immediately, a sinister symphony that clawed at Tom's sanity. He could feel the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end as he ventured further into the church, the oppressive darkness pressing in on. As Tom moved deeper into the church, the temperature plummeted and the air grew thick with an unrelenting malevolence. The ghostly whispers that had greeted him at the entrance transformed into guttural growls, an unseen menace closing in on him with each passing moment. The flickering candles on the altar cast grotesque shadows that danced to an unholy rhythm, their flickering light playing tricks on Tom's mind. He could feel the weight of the darkness bearing down on him, suffocating him with its presence. A blood-curdling scream pierced the silence, but it wasn't Tom's. The sound seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves, a ghastly wail that sent shivers down his spine. Panic set in as he stumbled through the abyss, desperately trying to escape the encroaching darkness. Suddenly, the temperature dropped to an unbearable chill, and Tom's breath materialized in front of him like a spectral specter. His heart pounded in his chest as he realized he was not alone. The ghostly conductor materialized before him, its skeletal hand outstretched in a gesture of malevolent welcome. The mournful melody that had haunted Tom's every step transformed into a cacophony of demonic laughter, a prelude to the horror that awaited him. With an otherworldly force, the ghostly conductor seized Tom by the throat, lifting him off the ground as though he were a weight. Tom gasped for air, his desperate struggles futile against the spectral grip that held him captive. The conductor's hollow eyes bore into his soul, filled with a malevolence that chilled him to the core. The grotesque laughter echoed through the desolate church, mocking him in his moment of terror. The ghostly figure spoke in a language long forgotten, invoking dark incantations that resonated with the ancient malevolence within the church's walls. The candles flickered violently, casting eerie shadows that seemed to writhe in sadistic delight at Tom's plight. As the demonic laughter reached a crescendo, the church shook with an unholy fury. Tom's vision blurred, his senses overwhelmed by the malevolent energy coursing through him. In a final act of brutality, the ghostly conductor tore through the fabric of reality itself, rending Tom's body asunder with an otherworldly force. The echoes of the ghastly wail lingered in the air as the church fell silent once more, the grotesque shadows retreating into the corners like malevolent phantoms. The altar was stained with an ethereal darkness, a testament to the gruesome fate that had befallen the ill-fated visitor. Word of Tom's demise spread through the town like wildfire, sending a chill through the hearts of all who heard it. The church became a place of unspeakable horror, its very name whispered in hushed tones, as if speaking it aloud would invite the same gruesome fate that had befallen Tom.